maths expression, like I'm entering here any number 2 plus 7, and here you will be able to see the result also, that is 9. And it will also be able to recognize the character from paper, and you can see the result. And there is another expression, and here I'm giving the application name as AR with Android. Okay, it is nothing to do with AR, so I'm just entering name. You can enter any of your name, like anything. Make sure language is Java and click on finish. The project is being built up, and let me go to the manifest file to give some permissions here. So here I will be giving some permissions, like uses permission. The first permission I will be needed is for camera, and now I have to go to within this Gradle script build.gradle module level file, and here I have to give a dependency. So let me give it implementation first of all, and then quotes, and within quotes you have to write com.google gms.play, and it's not dot, it's colon, and play services. Okay, and vision. So it is for recognizing the characters from the camera. So here the version, you can see that. So I have given this. You have to also write this within your dependencies. Okay, so now I think I have to click on the design level file, that is XML, within layout, and now you can see that the screen is completely empty. I have to redesign it. So first of all, let me click on sync now and go to the full screen and just remove this text view from here. And instead of this text view, what I have to add, first of all, let me change this parent constraint layout to the layout that is favorable for it, and it is linear layout, the second one. Okay, so for linear layout you have to give the orientation also. So here the orientation is being vertical, and now the layout weight, and the layout weight sum is 5. Okay, so within this linear layout, what we have to do is to give some child views. So the first child view will be a relative layout, and its width and height as match parent and 0 dp. Also the layout weight is 0.4. okay, so now what I have to do here, within this relative layout, I have to give another views. So now let me make some space so that you can see the screen very well. Here I am giving the text view, and the text view width and height is taken as wrap content and wrap content. Let me remove that w. Okay, perfectly fine. And now I have to give some text color here. So the text color will be, I think it should be card view dark background, but by default it is black. So you can also just ignore this text color. By default it is black. And then the text I have given, you can see that it solved the expression. Afterwards the text size is 18 sp here, and now the text style is bold so that the text will be visible to you. And now what I will be doing here, just giving the layout center vertical true, and then margin from the start is 20 dp. Afterwards what I have to do is to give test tools ignore, and now relative overlap, so there will be no issues of that overlapping. Let me show you if there's something. Yes, you can see that, but we can go for add that gravity to take it within the center, but it is not coming within the center. Let me see removing this. think this was not the issue. So what I have to do is to give that gravity here, and we'll see. First of all, I'm giving that layout gravity, then I will be changing it to normal gravity. Also, this is done. Okay, so you can understand these things by changing the XML code. You can realign the view, as am able to do that. And now, after this text view, within the child relative layout, you have to give image button. Okay, so its width and height should be wrap content, and let me give the ID for this image button as swap button. Okay, so now after giving the ID, and let me first of all add that source image here. So for that, what I have to do is to just right click here, then click on new, then go to vector set. Here you have to click on this icon. Okay, so that is given, and now the background is drawable, the image is drawable, and it is IEC baseline cache 24. Okay, so for now, giving the center vertical as true, and afterwards what I have to do here is to layout align parent and make it true. Okay, no issue. And now what I'm doing here is to layout margin and now it is 20 dp. Okay, no issues. And this image view is almost completed, as you can see that in the right side of your screen the cassette icon is there. Now the same thing, ignore, and it should be like content description. Okay, so let me close it right now. Okay, so image button is completed, the relative layout is completed, and now the important thing will be added here. So what it is surface view. So for the surface view, you have to take the width and height as match parent and 0 dp. Afterwards, the layout from margin and is 8 dp and the layout weight is 3.6. so now you will be able to see that the surface view here. So visibility, first make the visibility as gone so that we can understand these facts also. Let me give the ID for this surface view as surface view. V is capital, S is small. Okay, so I have given the ID for that particular surface view, and now I'm adding the relative layout here and giving its width and height as match parent and 0 dp. Afterwards, the margin from the end is 8 dp, and now it is not margin from the end, it should be margin. Okay, so now remove this margin from end to margin only, and here layout weight is 3.6. and then first of all let me remove this visibility gone, as I have already told you about it, and then also make the visibility gone for this particular relative layout. Okay, so don't make this small mistakes. Let me remove this margin also. Now it is looking good. And now the small mistake is I have already closed this relative layout. You don't have to do it, just close it as I am doing. Okay, so within this relative layout, what we have to do is, let's see, we have to add edit text, and for that the width and height will be 300 dp and wrap content, layout center vertical in parent true. Okay, it's enter int parent. Okay, and max length have given. Now the text color, so the text color is black. By default it is black, so you don't have to justify all these things every time. It is to tell you that how the text color can be changes. You can add your hex color also. Okay, so now the hint is enter math expression, and after this add text, what I have to do is to give a text view after the closing of relative layout. Okay, so for this text view, first of all let me give the id for that particular edit text that we have forgotten to give. It is expression edit text, and now this text view, that is width is given as match parent and height is 0 dp. Afterwards I have to add the margin for it as 8 dp, and now the layout weight is 1 for this. Again what we have to do is to give the gravity as center, and then the text style as bold. Okay, now the text is empty, and here what we have to add the text color. So the text color is black, and again the text size is 19 sp here. So this text view is also completed, and let me remove this extra space. You can see that this much of extra space is there, so remove it. Okay, so now I'm just scrolling it from up to down. If you have confused at anywhere or make mistake at anywhere, pause the video and correct your code. Okay, as you can see that there is no error. So let me give the id for this particular relative layout also. First of all make this like relative and then layout. Okay, and visibility, let visible it. Okay, no issues. So and now what I have to do is to remove that particular thing and make it gone again. Okay, no issue. You can see that the design part is completed. Now we have to move to the Java coding part here. So let me go to our main activity, and before that I have to create another class, and that class name is, the class name should be like what I can add here, it's related to that math expressions. So math and then evaluation. Okay, so it's math evaluation class which is being created, and it's created right now, and we have to work on this class firstly. It's like private, and then that's type is string and its expression, and again it's int and character. Also the position is taken as -1. Okay, and now the private boolean wrong result should be taken as false. Okay, so by character we will go and try to solve the expression from the string. First of all let me generate the constructor by pressing alt plus insert, and then I have generated this constructor. You can also type this if you want to type instead of generating, but Android Studio provides us various options, so we can use them. Okay, so now I'm making a function here, and its function name is like parse. So we have an string expression, we have to parse it. Okay, so here another custom function next character, which I will be implementing after this. And now I'm taking as double x equals to parse low arithmetic, It is also a custom function that will be going to implement soon. And now we are checking that if the position is less than expression's length, then the wrong result will be true. Okay, so the position cannot be less than the expression dot length. Okay, and now if wrong result is false, then we have to return the value of x, else we will be returning that wrong expression. You can see that the return type of this function is string. That's why we are doing this, converting this string dot value to. So first of all, let me generate this function. It is here, and we have to make at least 3 functions of like that: parsing medium and parsing high. Now the double x equals to parse medium arithmetic. Okay, and what we have to do here is to make a loop like this. And now if evaluate, it is also a function. If evaluation is taking the operand and operators, so here we are talking about operators only. So if the operator is plus, then we have to just add this and call that parse medium arithmetic. Okay, and after this we have to also write that else if part if evaluate, and here if the operator is minus, then what we have to do here, we have to just like this parse medium arithmetic. Okay, and now we have to write the else part, that is return x. If it is not just like that, x is the only thing. Okay, so now we have to generate this function. So just click on that red bulb. First of all, remove this extra space from here, and now just doing this for that particular function here, like double x and parse high. As I've already told you that it will be taking up that low, medium and high, and it is taken as lower is plus minus, and here will be doing it for that medium. So the operators for this medium will be here. And now let me copy all these things, as we need to just make some minor changes within this code so that we can able to do this. Change this to multiply, change this to divide, and here you have to also do is to copy this and add one more thing, and that is modulus. Change these shorthand operators also to their corresponding if condition operators. Okay, and now what we have to do is to implement another function, and that function is parse high arithmetic. Okay, so just click. First of all, what we have to do is to change this, first of all, medium to high, make it high arithmetic, and now we'll be able to generate this function. And now we are within this parse high arithmetic. After this, the only function will be remaining out, that is evaluate. So before this, first of all, we have to add the if condition. So within this if condition, if evaluate, is like minus, then what we have to do here is to return that minus high arithmetic. Otherwise, what we have to do is make some space here first of all, as this gonna be a big function inside. If double x equals to 0, and then evaluate, and for this evaluate will contain like bracket. Okay, so you have listened that or studied about the BODMAS rule within mathematics, so kind of thing should be taken care here also. So here what we are doing is just making these things within there. So in the start position, this dot pos. Okay, now x equals to parse low arithmetic. Okay, so bracket open kind of thing, divide, multiply, it's a kind of rule there. Now just copy this part, and here you have to evaluate by closing thing. Okay, perfectly fine. And now what we have to do here is to add the else if, and if character is greater than equals to 0, and then it should be less than 9. Okay, so this is the numeric limit actually that we are taking from the ASCII. And now you have to take care of these brackets also, and or condition if character equals to dot, then what we have to do here is to make a while loop, and then check character is greater than equals to 0 and character is less than equals to 9. Okay, and here also you have to add this or, and then check character equals to dot. Now we have to move to next char if this happens. Okay, so it says x equals to double dot parse double, and taking that particular thing within this get substring up to that start position to this dot pos, as we have to take care about the operators plays the major role. Now the else if condition here, so within this else if condition what we are doing is else if character is greater than equals to small a and less than equals to z, then we have to make a while loop here and check for character is greater than equals to a, and then character is less than equals to z, then we have to do is next char, go to the next char. So this function is also we have to create called next char, and then a string funcs equals to expression dot substring, and taking this expressions substring from this start position to last position, then after that we are passing it. Okay, so now what we have to do here is to make some space, and I will be checking out for this thing also. And now you have to make a switch, and within this switch you have to pass this func, that is a string variable. So it will also define some that particular operators we see in the calculator for finding the square root, and then sine theta, tan theta kind of thing. So I'm just making this, I'm just copying that and changing these things, and we'll find the value using that math library, and make sure you are converting it to radian, as we solve it within degrees in our schools, but we have to do it within radian in calculators. Okay, so just what you have to do is to copy paste all these things. Now for that cos, and after cos you have to go for this also. So this is, make this first of all sine, and then first of all, okay, done, math dot 10, and then you have to add here 10. Perfectly fine, no issues. And here what we have to do is to add a default, and now we are making a default as a wrong result and making the wrong result as true and breaking this switch. Okay, let me close it, and now I have to add the else also for the topmost if wrong result, and now within this else it is wrong result equals to true. Another if condition, if evaluate contains this power. Okay, then we will be using that particular function pow, in which we have to pass these things x and then high arithmetic return x. Remove this extra space up to here, and finally we are here and making another function next char. So this is gonna be a small function just containing few lines, just doing it as ch equals to plus plus pos and less than expression dot length. Then what we have to do is to use this ternary operator and make it end within the line. Okay, so it is just checking that if not less than line, then increase the position. Okay, another function we have to make here, and that function is to evaluate. So evaluate one, and it is taking a parameter, and it is char to evaluate that particular character. So while ch equals to space, then we have to move to next char. Okay, and then if ch equals to char dot evaluate, then what we have to do is to move to next char and return true, and at the last we have to return false if conditions are false. Okay, so this class is done. Let me remove this extra space, and I will be just scrolling it from up to down so that you can see that no errors are there, and if you have messed up at anywhere, then pause the video and you have to correct your code here. Okay, no issues. And now let me move to main activity, and what I have to do within this main activity is to handle all these set on click listeners and buttons and showing the result and taking care of that surface view. Okay, so from the surface view we will be able to get the expression into our camera, then we'll be recognize the characters. Now camera source, and it should be named as like that, camera source. So just making camel case the variable names, and image button is swap button, and then the edit text is expression edit text. And now that particular relative layout. Okay, So here we have to give some variable like public static final int request permission. As camera permission is a danger permission, so we have to request it within the runtime. Okay, otherwise there will be an issue or the app will crash. So resolving these permissions is very important right now. So first of all, camera source, and we just have to map these things here. So I'm mapping it with the help of find view by id. So what we are actually mapping here, we are mapping our java code to xml views. Okay, so that it can work to and fro. If you are familiar with android, then you must know it. It's a very little kind of thing. And here let me check out all these things, everything is correct or not, as it is showing some error. So let me add text view 1. Okay, no issue. And now it is like, sorry, we haven't given that id for that particular text view. So let me go to the xml, and then at the end text view we have to give an id. So I'm just giving this text view. Okay, now what we have to do is to give that id text view. Okay, so afterwards what you have to do here is to change all these things and just mapping them. Swap button mapping, and after mapping them we will be setting up their functionalities here. Basically that's why we are mapping them, and it's that layout, and the layout was relative layout. Okay, so done, everything went very good. And here let me make some space, and first of all swap button dot set on click listener, and it will be taken up as that view. So what view it is, like view, and it is something like that. Okay, so making the lambda expression with that curly braces here. And now the if condition, if camera view dot get visibility, then if it is, then view dot visible, we are just checking for this visibility. Then camera source dot stop. Okay, and then camera view dot set then visibility, and here we have to give the visibility by view dot cone. Okay, and making it visible, changing it to camera layout. Okay, so within the else part what we have to do is to copy this thing. So copy this thing and change it. So what we have to change here, view dot make it visible, and for the camera source, for the layout, you have to make it gone. So what is this gone and visible? Actually we are playing with that views. We are setting their visibility on the screen, either they will be visible to us or not. So here we have to make try and catch, and within the try we have to add camera source dot start. Okay, so after that we have to pass this like camera view dot get holder, and then it is showing error because of permission. So first let me complete this catch. So it is IOE exception e, then e dot print is text trace, and now just adding the permission check here. Everything is good. Automatically the self check permission is added, and now Let me remove this extra space from here. As you can see that I'm removing it. And now text view 1 dot set text null. Let me remove this. Okay, let me also remove this. Okay, no issues here. Also, you have to take care of these small things like this curly braces and closing brackets. Now that added text, we have to add text change listener, making the text watcher here. So it has already implemented these three functions, so we have to work within this on text change, and we have to add that particular try here. And within that try, text view 1 dot set text and pass math evaluation, and then as to string, and then replace. What we have to replace is that particular new line. Okay, and replacing it with what, let me check, is null. Okay, then we are parsing it, and for this you have to add the catch also. So the catch will contain and get that e dot print text trace. Okay, so everything is good. And now within this, what we have to do is to click within that start camera source function. We have to create this function. This is also an custom function that we have to make out right now. So let me remove this extra space. Afterwards, what I have to do is to generate this, and then first of all that on request permission that we have to handle here. So it is also the important thing to handle out such on request permissions, that is real-time permission handling, and make sure that you are learning this if you are doing Android, as Android is being strict towards that users privacy and data. So you have to take the permission from the user for each resources you want to use. You cannot befool them. Add the try. So try is camera source dot start, and then pass that camera view dot cat holder. And okay, so here also you have to make that catch is IOE exception e, and then e dot print stack trace. Okay, so you have to add the permission check here also, adding that particular thing, cell permission check, no errors, you can see that. Afterwards, what we have to do here is to give the else block also. Within that else block, we have to add that toast that particular permission is not given. So permission not granted, and then to us dot length short, then show. Okay, remove this extra space, and here what we have to do here is to implement that start camera source. So starting this function start camera source, and within this function we are taking a final text recognizer, as we are using the camera or the surface view for recognizing the text characters from the photos taken by camera. Okay, so just building this, and as you already know that we have added that dependency GMS vision for this particular cause, and now text recognizer is operational, like it's working. Then camera source equals to new, like we have to add new, and then camera source, and finally we have to build it. So dot builder, and within the builder you have to pass the application context. You can make a context variable there and initialize this within on create and pass the context, but get application context is also better. Then set facing, whether you want that front camera or back camera, it's your choice. And now the set requested preview size to maximum 1280 124. Then auto focus enable true. Then set requested fps is 4.0, f is for float. Then finally build it. Okay, now this thing is almost done, and within this if condition we have to make camera view dot get holder dot add callback, and within this callback surface holder callback we have to implement this. So we have some functions here that we have to implement. So we will be working on which function here. Let's see and understand the fact. So this function surface on created, add try block here, and within this try block you have to add activity compat dot check self permission. And now you can see that how this permission issue is getting wider and wider. Almost we have used it at 3-4 places right now. So this is a really important thing when it comes to users privacy in 2021 or in the upcoming time, that how data is being accumulated or collected from user without their consent. So this is to just justify users privacy by developers. We are adding these permissions, and now main activity this, then new string array, and pass this manifest dot permission dot camera. Okay, so now request permission id also. Almost it is done. Camera source and camera source dot start, and pass that camera's view within this dot get holder, and it's done. You have to add the catch block here. So what we will be doing within this catch block, just making that e dot print stack trace. Okay, so now what we are going to do is to remove or add one thing here. First of all, text recognizer dot set processor, and then detector, and here we have this, and within this what we have to do is to final, then sparse array we have to make, and it will be containing the text block, and items equals to detection dot get detected items. Okay, if items is containing size is not equals to 0, that means it contains something, then text view 1 dot post, and here you have to pass that particular action here. So it is just like lambda 1 and these curly braces. Okay, what you have to do is to add try, then text view dot set text, and take it as calling that particular evaluation class, passing a string or the characters to that math evaluation by one, and getting the result from there into that final text view that will be showing the result for the solution of that particular maths expression. Okay, so we are done with it, and add semicolon. Okay, so this class is also error free. You can see that. Let me remove that extra space, and I will be scrolling it also, so that if you are getting error at any place, then you can correct yourself. Okay, so just scrolling it down, and after that I will be also running this application as a demo, which I have already showed you in that starting of the video, but I have to do it again so that you can be justified, the video can be justified, okay, for you. So let me just install it by that play button, and it is installing. You can see in the bottom success, and let me show you. So just allowing that permission, okay, so it was that permission thing. Now what we have to do here is to first click on that cassette button. If you have faced any problem by using that button, then you can use any image instead of that. Okay, now that 2 plus 7, okay, and it will be 9, and then result from